Hey guys, this is RuRoniK95 here. Today is another manga review once again because I had to do it in a whole little variety sort of way of how I'm doing a manga review because I haven't thought of something before until now because despite how I'm given in the fact though that I'm starting to do manga review videos for the first time though because why not? Because I'm starting with every manga volume from start to finish. But if it's all complete on there, you can. Or if it's only a omnibus or one of those single-sided edition ones, like just a single volume manga. But that's basically in the case though, which is I'm doing it in a whole different type of variety of sort of way though. Yeah, so that's I'm giving in the point though. So today we're going to be doing a manga review. So this time for today's manga review is Fushigi Yuugi Volume 1, The Mysterious Play. Well, Fushigi Yuugi, The Mysterious Play, Volume 1, Priestess. For today's manga review, because this is done by legendary Yuwatase as well. Because this is basically how... This is the first time I'm going to do a manga review. Because I might be reviewing the first 4 volumes of Fushigi Yuugi, because I will get more volumes of them at one point, so I can do my continuation of the manga review, though. Yeah, so let's do a manga review. So let's begin with my manga review on this one. So the story sets off of how... So the manga tells the story about... what's the character's name? Miyaka Yuki as well. She always keeps daydreams about how she has a hunger for food, though, especially of anything she can likes, especially. But she was daydreaming though, especially her teachers or her colleagues in her school. When she was doing her, math formals as well, when they told her to study, basically, because she might have been snows off daydreaming in this manga, isn't it? Speaking of which, they thought somebody took her food, though, because she was like, "Give me back my food," in that one, especially in this part of the manga. Yeah, they thought someone was stealing her. I know that isn't right. But she might have been dozing off, though. And her other friend, Yui, saw something, the commotion going on. Yeah, because they all know that she might have been daydreaming, though, in this manga. And that wasn't long until Yui and her friend Miyaka Yuki went to this fast food joint just to get something mine after school, especially in this fast food place. Take notice, there's a McDonald's in this manga, though. Huh. What is it with fast food and manga as well? Well, that is a good question, though. They wanted to know if they could figure out something going on about how really generous about she has a GPA grammar, especially of her exam of her school, though. If they could have understand, though, if they wanted to know if she wanted to attend Yotsubadai High School, especially in this part of the manga, in the first volume of Fushigi Yuugi, The Mysterious Play, though. When the studying in the library comes, especially in Yotsubadai High School, she notices a restricted private library which is forbidden to go there. But she and Yui basically notices something. They thought it was some earthquake, but it was actually the books, though. They all noticed those books are very rare until she found this book, which is that said it was the universe of the 4 gods, which Yui and Miyaka noticed especially. Very mysterious, kind of like the never-ending story certain way, though. If they wanted to know of how it's basically how things just going quite well, but that's how they transported into a different type of how they ended up being in this, because they were not in the library, because that's basically how things just going quite well of how they ended up being there in China as well. They were being targeted by those slave marketers as well, especially of what they noticed in happening in China, especially in Fushigi yuugi as well. But that wasn't long until Tamahome came to put a stop to those slave marketers who caught almost trying to who were kidnapping Miyaka and Yui, but Miyaka tried to stop them when she told Yui to run. But that's how Tamahome appeared in this one as well. Yeah, come to think of it, because he had to put a stop to this. And that's how one of them broke the arm. But Tamahome notices if Miyaka was alright. But if they couldn't understand, though, especially if they don't have any money, if they're broke, especially in this part of the manga in Fushigi yuugi. But then that's how they ended up back in the library. And then that's how she was late for school, because they were sneaking inside a private library, which is forbidden, when they were caught red-handed, after they were being transported from the universe of the Four Gods book. That's how where they had those rare books in there. Back in the school comes, how this time, of course, Miyaka notices of how they wanted to never seen something of how she didn't know about the student hasn't failed her exams, especially in this class as well, from how you want to know about this, especially in this chapter. But if you want to pause, take a look on that, especially of how the story progresses in Fushigi yuugi as well. The evening comes and Miyaka wanted to know if she was majoring in Chinese philosophy about the universe of the Four Gods. She could have known about if she got that book, if she would have understand, but that wasn't long until she was still in her study, though. Later on of how this comes, but then somebody came to bring Miyaka Yuki a snack as well, especially how she was going with her study exam, especially for her school as well, in this chapter of the manga, though. But then she was noticed if that guy was supposed to be at work, though, but she couldn't know if she could understand if she notices something until she went back home. Her parents wondered if she was feeling sick, though, because they all know what she was up to, especially she has in her diary, especially in this chapter of the manga, especially of how she could have understand, though, she doesn't want to go out with Jonan as well, like it's a date or something, especially of how things just going quite well, but then she took off as well, and especially in this manga. She couldn't know if her parents thought that she was treating her like some sort of a broken record in this part as well. As well as she went back to the library. The evening comes and she went back to the library. The book was still open. She couldn't know if she could read the Universe of the Four Gods book, and then that's how she could understand. But then that's how it transported her back to of how it was from the first time. This wasn't known of how she thought that she was back from the same before, when she was sucked into a book, though, especially in the manga Fushigi yuugi as well. She couldn't know if, she noticed that it was China. She was in China, especially in this manga right here. Take notice on that for this one as well. Yeah, she said it looked like a movie set, though, or it wasn't look some sort of a carnival or something. She couldn't know if how whose money was this in this part. But then she says she was free when there was no school, no reports, no card anxiety, or no exams. Because she looks like she can do whatever she wants in this part when she's in the feudal era in China, especially in this manga there. When she wanted to know if she could understand if there's something happening going on, until she saw something of how this guy, she noticed something from before. If she could have understand though, especially how they thought that women had different tastes. Of course, they're being local blokes though. They think she was so naive though, when they thought she could have know about this, which they were doing something very pervy to her, but she wanted to put a stop to this in this part, because she ain't playing no games though, especially how she defeats those blokes in this, especially in this part when she had fought with those blokes in Fushigi Yuugi as well. If she could have realized though, is that how you wouldn't know as well. She wanted to know of how they want to. But that wasn't long until Tamahome appeared from before, and then she came to him that she was worried, scared, especially in this part in this manga. Tamahome could have understand though if she saved, but then, and if he would have, yeah, she saved her. Basically, because she knew that Tamahome has saved Miyaka twice as well in this particular manga. But she could have known if she had the hots for him as well. If she can come back with the gems, though. But that's how more different things just go until these local bloke pricks who are almost notice something that, or these people who are not exactly though, but they're people who are under the rule of the emperor. When they were saying she was being rude, provoking the trouble, but that's how Tamahome has had to save Miyaka Yuki again in this part for the third time after he saved her twice though. Especially if she can give Tamahome the 3 gems, especially as well. But he was introduced to Miyaka Yuki when he wants to know the name though. But that's how she notices something of how she was vanishing back into the library after reading the book though as well. But she ends up with Tamahome in this part as well, until they were caught. We get to the introduction to the priest, because how the chapter goes, basically, if they could have known what Miyaka and Tamahome has a lot to do, if they were ending up in the middle of nowhere or something, as how things is going well happening in this part of the chapter. By this time, of course, they say that the girl it might be the young ladies of the legends, especially in this chapter, from what I understand, in Fushigi Yugi, because that's what she ends up in. That's how things is going quite well. They all know if they can understand, especially how they were being captured as well, like being prisonered as well, but he's actually passed out though. But him and Miyaka escaped from being imprisoned until they notices this bird. Especially, they was called the Suzaku. It was the god of each of the 3 empires has their own god to worship. Especially the Suzaku in this one. In what you noticed, if you ever watched the anime or read the manga, especially, in its own certain value ways as well. By this time, of course, the food was being prepared under dinner, though. Miyaka had always got the chance for the dinner, but they all noticed the food was gone, though. Especially because... But that wasn't long until she went nowhere, until she met this other mysterious guy, though, Hotohori. Especially, it appears, basically, in this chapter right here. Yeah, because I think that's how it has got more class, though. Tamahome goes, if you want to know where it's up to, when those who found him, especially in this part, from what I understand, though. If they could have known, though, how it understand things is going quite well, especially for what Tamahome had a lot to do, if she wants to find Miyaka Yuki as well. But she doesn't know if she could find Tamahome, but Tamahome has to fight the others who are ruled under the Emperor, but after he was being captured, and he had escaped, though, especially in this part, until we see the appearance of Hotohori in this chapter on Fushigi yuugi as well, from what I understand. By this time, of course, she notices how she met Hotohori for the first time, especially when he was under the rules of China. They thought they were disapproved to the counselors that they think they're evil spirits, but they are not executed, which is a good thing, because they shall not be executed, especially what you see in that one, which is a good news thing. Especially, they say there was a legend in the land of China, especially in Fushigi yuugi. But she says she was a junior high school girl when she was cramming for her exams, especially when she's in the land of China as well, how the story progresses as well. Because she says she'll be the priestess of Suzaku, which is her decision in this part. Because she wanted to be the priestess of Suzaku as well. Because why not? Because that's her choice, though, when she was ruling in this part. But, yeah, they all bow to her. Because she wanted to be the priestess of Suzaku in this chapter, though. And that's how she had the chance, though. From what I understand, that's how. But until somebody went back in the library and found the book and put it back on the shelf. But that's how something strange happening to her as well. But by this time, of course, someone who's looking for Miyaka, or she has gone, but she was still in China, though, as the priestess of Suzaku as well, from how it progresses, of how, especially how her and Tamahome had a lot to do when she was with him, and she was with Tamahome in this part of the manga, as well, how it goes. If she has the power of the Suzaku, though, by this time, of course, Hotohori came as well. If Miyaka has to obtain the powers of Suzaku, when he was researching that in the universe of the four gods, because that's how she's in the book as well. If there is the Suzaku in the southern 7 constellations, especially in the holy constellations of heaven, which there are 28 celestials as well, especially between the names of each of them. One of them has the mark on the neck, which is written in Chinese as well, especially what you see in Fushigi yuugi. And he is introduced to Hotohori because he's one of them as well. By this time, of course, Miyaka wanted to know something, how it happens as well, where the China is going. But that's how Tamahome has to fight off those thuggish blokes who are in his way, who are captured, almost trying to see what he was up to as well. By this time, of course, she is becoming the priestess of Suzaku, especially in this part, when she was a junior high school. Yeah, she name calls those thuggish blokes who are always trying to not going in her way as well, especially in this part. This is the one from how look as well. As from what I understand, though, from how she wanted to know. especially with these insults. But she has to fight them off, though. But she has to take off, though, because she's something's fallen apart, especially how, and from how I understand. By this time, of course, Yui, on the other hand, noticed something what she buy, but they asked Yui what happened about something what's going on. But then Tamahome has saved Miyaka from getting hurt, and they had to remove the rubble as well. From how Tamahome has saved Miyaka for the first time from being crushed by those damaged things. So that's how, yeah, because Tamahome wants to protect Miyaka Yuki, especially in this chapter part, from what I understand. As from what I understand, though, things is going quite well until somebody has almost put a stop to the damage as well. Yeah, because she is lucky that she is still alive, though, until things just gone quite easily, though. Basically, we get to this introduction of the character, Noriko, which is or known as Kanglin, which is in the constellation, especially, and she's introduced to Noriko as Miyaka herself in this chapter. We get to the appearance beside, other than Tamahome and Hodahori, we get the introduction to Noriko as well, especially in this chapter of the manga, because they thought she was a woman or some transgender guy or something. In this chapter it progresses. The evening comes and Yui wanted to know if Miyaka was there, but she wasn't. But until something damaged on Yui's leg, which is blood-stained as well. But they said it was vanished as well after it's removed. By this time, of course, Miyaka was jealous that she thinks that Noriko was a woman who kissed Tamahome as well. But then, that's how things just going well. If they was a misunderstanding of how you want to expect in Fushigi Yugi, though, as well, from what I understand, particularly how the story progresses. Meanwhile, she wanted to expect something of how something happening as how it progresses. Noriko said that told anyone to clean it up. If you miss any spots, you'll get no dinner, which is very harsh, especially what she said to Miyaka Yuki as well. But she didn't notice and then she taunts her, saying no dinner for you as well, and it's not fair, especially the grip, especially the taunting, how it goes in this part. By this time, of course, and then Tamahome has put a stop to Noriko, saying to stop picking on Miyaka as a little misunderstanding. But then that's how it wasn't going well. Noriko thinks that she's in love with that. Noriko thinks that Tamahome's in love with Noriko, but she threw it at the table at Tamahome by calling for what the misunderstanding goes. Was she thinks that she doesn't know if Noriko is being such a pain in the butt, though. As the misunderstanding goes, as how things is going quite well about things is how it happened, how it progresses of how this goes, of how it's like, why does Noriko doing this to Tamahome? Like, why does Noriko look like a woman when she's basically like a guy? She's basically like a cross-dressing fellow, almost more different than Ranma Sawatome and Ranma Half, but that's different. Anyways, back to Fushigi Yugi, by the way, as well, because that's how things is going quite in a manner certain way. And that's how Tamahome has to put bandages on Miyaka's legs because it's the wound, how the damages if she was bleeding, though, as well. They think that yeah, they say that, yeah, Miyako Yuki told Tamahome if does he like Noriko, but Tamahome said she was not my type as well. But it's basically like if he was fooling around though, especially if there is the money the first. But she was not jealous though. Yeah, that's how the misunderstanding goes as well, from what I understand. But that's how she came over. There's a clear crystal that how Noriko has come to know about these inner buildings in this part of the manga. By this time, of course, Hotohori wanted to know if there's something more, how it's trading on the state of the Empire, as how it's one of those 7 celestial warriors, especially the ones have been released from Seraglio to serve Miyaka, if they wanted to know this. Yeah, especially in this chapter, though. By this time, though, they wanted to know the face of a woman, though, especially until Miyaka knows that what is she doing to came here as well. But that's how it was and how things is going well, especially when, and she's still under how things is going. By this time when Yui came and she wanted to know something, isn't Miyaka still there? But Miyaka knew that the seaweeds has dragged Miyaka Yuki in the water, and that's how something happened. Tamahome wanted to know where Miyaka went, but then because she almost could have drowned in the water because the seaweeds has got Miyaka Yuki as well. In this part, how this chapter progresses, she almost could have drowned though, but then Tamahome wanted to save her, because how things is going well though. But Noriko wanted to know if could understand that Noriko's been in the inner Seraglio and for a year, especially in the direction. That's how it happens. By this time, how it progresses, this how it explains, but that wasn't long until Miyaka Yuki came out of the water, though. Her hair was not in the hair buns because her hair was down, because the seaweeds might have dragged her in the water, especially from what I understand, though. And Tamahome knows if Miyaka is alright, because she was not drowned, because she was very lucky. And how does she went into the pond as well? As the jealousy goes between how it goes. Yeah, especially take notice in this part as well. As by this time, of course, from what we see in Fushigi Yugi as well, she said that the story didn't add up to her. If it was outside of the building, especially how jealousy goes. I mean, she doesn't have a crush on Tamahome, though. Meanwhile, she came to Hotohori about if she was surrounded by the women who were in love. She wanted to know, especially if could understand, especially between when he already has someone as well. She could have understand, though, about the hidden love, how it progresses. She as well as the story, how it goes. If she would have understand why, especially, she thought that if Tamahome's in love with Noriko as well, but that's how it's gotten in the connection of how a little more discretion of how things progresses as well. I mean, he told Hotohori to return, that she'll be returning to the room as well. That's how the things just go about how the hidden love means. It's like, why does it do this? How does it progress it? How does it got to me? How does this got the connection of how this things, how it isn't as expected? Especially in the manga, though. I mean, that's how how it just doesn't seem as expected. As well, something between Hotohori or Tamahome as how something that sets him off in this part. Yeah, something as how it's setting off him as well. But how does she know about this? It's like, how is it from the first beginning until where it's gone? But if she could have known this as well, everything on this whole circumstances way as well. Yeah, Tamahome has the 3 gums as well, especially when he has in his hand, especially in the manga though. Especially of how it's anything in. They all say that there was something fishy about him. He said that the priestess lives in the emperor's place as well. But that wasn't long until Miyaka appears again, and this time it's not in her hair buns. This time when she appeared in that part, because she is the priestess of Suzaku as well. Because they knew that she is the real priestess of Suzaku when she's with Tamahome this whole time. Especially of how there's discussion, but there's basically got business discussion to discuss with Tamahome. By this time, of course, Yui was looking for Miyaka, but she wasn't there. She tried everything to explain if she met Miyaka, Yugi's mother, to see if Miyaka went, but they thought she ran away. But she was in the Universe of the 4 Gods books, so that's how it's behind how it goes. Until some perverted bloke who was behind Miyaka in this part of the manga. They say, because they called her a broad, but someone said, boss, and Miyaka and Tamahome told some bloke to let go of her, especially, in this chapter part, from how you would expect. As how the story goes. As well, if she can give him the full 30 gold Rio for her, as how you expect. Oh, and that's almost to insulted Tamahome, which almost sets him off, though, as well. And that's how Miyaka and Tamahome has to defeat this bloke, and that's how the fight goes. That she notices something, and somebody calls Tamahome a bastard in this part. Yeah, it's how the provoking the fights, how it goes in the manga as well. To binge on something. And he doesn't know things that they're priceless or not as well. That's how she told Tamahome she confesses that she's in love with Tamahome, but that's how the truth has been revealed. But he says that he can't say that he feels the same, but she's just protecting because he basically could have misunderstood. He could have understand that he's just protecting Miyaka Yuki because she's the priestess of Suzaku. I mean, how the Majesty is worried though, but she just passed out. We'll continue on in chapter 2, volume 2 as well. So that's my review and the summary of the story, though, because this isn't the first time I'm going to do a review on the first volume of Fushigi Yugi for the first time, because, well, why not? Well, because this is actually the first time I have been doing Fushigi Yugi, The Mysterious Play, Volume 1 manga review here on this channel for the first time, because I haven't thought about it until now, because this is the first time I'm doing a manga review of Fushigi Yugi, The Mysterious Play for the first time, because I figured, well, why not? Because I wanted to do this one because, this is the one that definitely takes the cake, though, because I have been doing a lot of my different types of manga review videos in the more whole of the variety of certain ways, though. Like I said, I review every manga from start to finish as well, especially the ones that are completed as well, from how the story progresses, what you see in Fushigi Yugi, The Mysterious Play, how it happens. If you want to, that's how, basically. Although I have watched the anime on DVD and the rest of Season 2 episodes of Fushigi Yuugi, The Mysterious Play on YouTube, along with the OVAs and Fushigi Yuugi Aikoden. If you want to binge on something, give it a read on the manga. Okay, either that reading, okay, either you like read the manga or watch the anime, as in a favor of both as well. If you're gonna either put in favorites, either or if you like in general as well. Well, I like reading the manga though and watching the anime, which is a lot more depths for what I got for this one as well. I mean, it's been a while since I've watched Fushigi Yuugi, The Mysterious Play anime TV series, because it's one of my favorite anime series from the 90s, right next to Rurouni Kenshin. Although I may want to review the Rurouni Kenshin volume mangas at one point as a manga review from start to finish as well. So that's going to be it for my manga review on Fushigi Yuugi, The Mysterious Play Volume 1 Priestess manga review video for the first time, you guys. Thank you for watching. But before we go, here's what I'm going to say for this one. Well, this is the first time I'm doing a manga review on the first volume of Fushigi Yuugi for the first time, because I had to pick those for my manga collection, because why not? Because it's a good way to start a manga review video, because that's my opinion, though. Hope to subscribe for content. My Anime Planet link in the description down below. You can share this video on your Twitter and Facebook if you have Twitter and Facebook account and all social media. Smack the like button if you enjoy this video. Feel free to leave in the comments in the comment section below on this video if you like as well. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel, Rurouni K95. Feel free to join my channel, especially if you're new to my channel as a newcomer. Smack the notifications bell button. Be sure to get notified as well. Also, and keep it otaku for this manga review on Fushigi Yuugi, The Mysterious Play Volume 1 manga, because this is the first time I'm doing a manga review on Fushigi Yuugi, The Mysterious Play as well. Because why not? Because it's my favorite thing to do. Because that's why. Yeah, maybe I'll review one of the Rurouni Kenshin manga volumes at one point, because we'll see about that. This is Rurouni K95 saying thank you for watching my video, and I'm glad you liked it, and I hope you enjoy it. Hope to see you soon for the next video. Hope you have a great day. This is Rurouni K95 signing off, and thank you for watching my video, and I will see you soon for more videos.